Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunalitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Vitangscha Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya Himava Divyascha Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Ashavare Amrita Sindhumayi Katanchit Kalo Mayati Gamita Kila Sampratam Hi Tvam Chet Kripam Mayi Vidasa Shinaiva Kimme Prane Brajena Chaboro Rubakarinapi Vanchakavasrivascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patita Nam Pavanevyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. So tomorrow is the celebration of the Chira Doi festival in Panihati, where Srila Raghunath Das Goswami fed Sri Nityananda Prabhu and his divine associates. And this is the opportunity that we have to say something about that. And it's interesting, the first sloka of every chapter in Chaitanya Charitamritam, within that, one sense it's somewhat of a summary, but within that are sometimes hints given of what is to follow. And the first word, Kripa Gunai, which you could say is like, the qualities of mercy. But as given there, Srila Prabhupada, the ropes of the mercy of Mahaprabhu rescued Raghunath Das Goswami from the other ropes which are being bound to mundane relationships. But we know really all these great devotees, they are Parshada Bhaktas, eternal associates of the Lord. And these are their pastimes. Because we'll hear how Raghunath Das Goswami, he wants to be with Mahaprabhu. From another point of view, we think, can we imagine Raghunath Das Goswami without Mahaprabhu? But part of the play, the pastimes, is to, it's not a meaningless show, but inconceivably, these pastimes, as we might say, cast and script by Yogamaya Baladev, they put the devotees in a position of separation from their beloved. Even Nityananda Prabhu himself, in anticipation of joining together with Nimai Pandit, he's touring the different holy places of India. He's born in another place. And it is that separation that will fuel the intensity of hankering and make the joy of meeting all that more pleasurable. But for such devotees who we know in their gopi forms, yatati yad bhavan anikananam tutir yugayate tamapasyatam kutila kuntalam shrimukam jate yada udikshitam pakshmakridrasham. The Braja Gopis, unable to tolerate the amount of separation caused by the blinking of an eye, that's causing them to find fault with Brahma, the creator. Right? So understand that magnitude of intensity of heart for such a personality in parallel pastimes of Mahaprabhu to like it's almost like Purva Rag, an anticipation of meaning. So we cannot properly estimate what sort of feelings are in the heart of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Right? What anticipation and joining, achieving the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But where he's positioned in circumstance, the son, prince-like son of a very wealthy family, and always looking for an opportunity to escape that. What would be the target or goal of other people to achieve, to enter in that situation? For the devotees of the Lord, this is not only nothing, but it's a burden, a distraction, utterly undesirable. He can't wait to leave that. What others aspire to someday achieve in their dreams, he can't wait to leave that situation and achieve the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. And we know that once earlier in Shantipur, he tried to make his approach, was sent back, similar to Rup and Sanatan when they wanted to join with Mahaprabhu. The Parivyasini sloka is mentioned there that they should return to their normal lives, understanding in time what their heart is hankering for will be granted, achieved. And what is the example given? It says that the wife who has a paramour, she's even more attentive to the household duties, to not arouse any suspicion. Right? So Raghunath Das, he is behaving like an ordinary person with some diplomatic skills, and to the degree that he's showing such things, his parents are very happy. One of his uncles, Chaudhary means a tax collector. They had to collect a certain amount and give a certain amount, and you get to keep a percentage. He wasn't giving the full amount. Keeping a little extra. Came to the notice of the local Muslim Chaudhary tax collector, and he, in the absence of the brother and father, he arrested Raghunath Das and was like holding him hostage and using him, trying to use him for leverage. And at a certain point, he wanted to beat Raghunath Das Goswami. But then we're told, he saw how beautiful he is, his demeanor, his ways of doing, and he just couldn't bring himself to do it. And at that point, Raghunath, seeing that his heart's a little melting, he's saying, you know, in a village like ours, you know, I have my father, uncle, and really you're also that to me. I'm like your son. And we know the brothers, they're fighting about this and other thing, but really I see you like father. And it's almost like for comic relief in that section. When he's listening, it said, tears started gliding down his beard. He was very touched. He said, then, yes, you are right. You're like my son. How can I will release you. And then it's given for various reasons, but one is to show that Raghunath, he's also capable of this type, showing this type of behavior, diplomatic skills, and but it's an act for him. It's opposing. He has one intention: to achieve the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. And all of this is a show. Srila Guru Maharaj, he once said that he gave an interesting example using, and a very high thing, Parakiya Bhav, again, the paramour. But he related this to devotees who find themselves in various karmic circumstances. And he said, you know, in the Vedic culture, the husband has, you know, certain demands over the wife that must be met. He said, so, but what, in this, the example he's giving, he's saying, karma in this context is like the husband, and it has certain demands over jiva. And rightfully so. We're there, when Guru Maharaj was giving a talk once, and one devotee was sort of shaking his head, and he said, you know, I just feel sorry for all the innocent people in the world. And Guru Maharaj said, there are no innocent people. You know. He said, we have all betrayed our Lord. So, entering the world of, you know, action, reaction, for every action, equal and opposite reaction, we have a certain karmic destiny. We find ourselves surrounded by karmic circumstances that are our own making. Srila Prabhupada once rendered Sarva Dharmam Paritajamam Ekam Sharanam Braja Ahang Tvang Sarva Papebhyo Mokshai Shami Masujaha. He said, Krishna counsels your destiny. If you surrender to him, he counsels your destiny. That phrase he used. That is only understood in the realm of faith. There are things which are opposed to the culture of faith, that want to rob Jiva of her real wealth, which is her faith in Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, and Vaishnav, and make them take guidance or direction from a false shelter. Not so the devotees. But so in this case, Guru Maharaj said, So karma has its demands, he said, and like the wife who has the paramour, saying, makes a show of meeting those demands, fulfilling those demands, while the heart is wholly given over to the paramour. So he's saying that devotee, to spell it out, finds himself in particular karmic circumstances. They may give some, what's the word, for show, but starts with a P, like perfunctory might be the word, of adherence, obedience, fulfilling these obligations, but really in their heart is possessed by Krishna and his devotees. And they won't be satisfied with anything less than that. And that's the driving force beneath everything, the undercurrent of everything they're doing, to take them in that direction. So Raghunath Das, he's sometimes sees an opportunity, he runs away, his father sends men, they capture him on the road and bring him back. And the wife, or his mother, the wife suggested to her husband, said, why don't we tie him with ropes like we do with Ketu? Right? And then he can go around and do certain things in a limited area. And then you say, oh, was that not the first two words of this chapter? Kripa Gunai. By the ropes of Mahaprabhu's mercy, he's rescued from being roped into this situation. But the father, his response to the wife, because she wanted let's bind him with ropes and then we'll be free from anxiety and worry. And the father said, Indra Aisvarja Sama, Stri Apsara Sama. He has wealth like Indra, the king of heaven. And Stri, his wife, is like an Apsara. That means like the most beautiful women in the heavenly planets. Right, so he's saying, that's his wife. He's saying, if this situation is not enough to bind him, he said, then what can be done for someone who's become a madman for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Batul means madman. He's mad for Mahaprabhu. What good would ropes do if you can't bind him with the sort of opulences that most people in the world are mad after to achieve? He's mad after the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. So, and then we're told one evening, well, I should say before that, I'll return to that, but that, so Raghunath Das is saying, whenever I try to get away, somehow it's not happening. And he's thinking, I need to get the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. By the grace of Nityananda Prabhu, all things are possible. He's the Kripa Avatar. Right? Preme Mata Nityananda Kripa Avatar, Uttamadam, Kichun Navitar. He's so merciful. He doesn't consider whether one is qualified, unqualified, relatively, absolutely not. He's intoxicated with Krishna Prem and Gaur Prem and wants to share that intoxicating substance with everyone. So he's saying, I need to get the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. Nitai Koruna Have Braje Radha Krishna Pave. You cannot achieve the Radha and Krishna without the grace of Nityananda. He no nitai bine bai Radha Krishna pai tenai. So he hears that Nityananda Prabhu, with his associates, is nearby in Panihati, this like village town in Bengal. And he's saying, I will go there and seeking the grace of Nityananda Prabhu and fall at his feet and beg him to give me the mercy by which I can achieve the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we're told they're on the banks of the river there, of the Ganga, sitting on a rock. There's Nityananda Prabhu with the radiance of like 100,000 suns. And we should stop for a moment and think, can everyone see that? Who will see that sort of divine radiance? We are our own obstruction. Right? When they say that, it means a type of spiritual illumination beheld by those who are spiritually awakened and have spiritual vision. Right? So there's Nityananda Prabhu, and from a great distance, Raghunath, and he's surrounded by his associates, and he likes river banks, like Ganga Bank, Jamuna Bank, for picnics with the cowherd boys. And Raghunath Das, from a great distance, is giving like Shastanga Dandavats, and the devotees of Nityananda, oh, there's Raghunath Das, and Nityananda going, thief! Thief! Bring that thief over here. You know? And Raghunath Das is shy and hesitating. He's the Prayojan Tattva Acharya in the Rupanuga line. The most, the best student, disciple in Rupa. The Prayojan Tattva Acharya, why is he keeping such a distance? Because he considers himself utterly unfit. We have neophytes, new recruits, boasting of their qualifications. Raghunath Das Goswami is staying as far away as possible. He doesn't consider himself fit to come any nearer. But Nityananda forcibly brings it, and then Raghunath Das is coming to give his dandavats, and Nityananda Prabhu is putting his feet on his head. He's saying, you're a thief, you're trying to escape, but today I will punish you. What is that punishment? That you will have to feed me and all of my devotees. We know, don't think that that's so easy. On the way to Puri, when Nityananda was hungry and not being attended to, he kicked Shivananda Sen, who was in charge of taking 200 Mahabhagavatas from Navadvip, in Goromandal to Puri. He kicked him like in the chest and cursed that all of his family would die. And when the news came to Shivananda Sen's wife, she's saying, Nitai is cursed. Certainly they will all die. He cursed, they will all be dead. And Shivananda Sen, what did he say? We should all die. that we made Nityananda experience some kind of inconvenience and he's there hungry, we should die for that. No one died. But a particular mood. So he says, I'm punishing, you have to feed me and all my associates. Well, why is this what they're fed? We should think, right? Chira and doi. And some chipped rice, flat rice, chipped rice, and yogurt. Right, why don't they make some other big kind of feast? That will happen later, but why? Because they are cowherd boys. And this is a cowherd boy picnic on the banks of the Ganga, Jamuna. The kind of things they would do in Vrindavan. It makes them very happy. So it's Balaram and a bunch of cowherd boys having a picnic from another point of view. And then it's described how they take the chira and soak it in milk, then soak some of it in condensed milk, others in yogurt, and add little fruits and different things, and sometimes some camphor, a little ghee, and how many pots Raghunath Das arranges all of this with locals and the associates of Nityananda Prabhu, and then all those devotees, and their 20 men are serving, giving each one like a pot. Some people, they when they run out of pots, because this is a Prakriti Leela, then some people are like half submerged in the Ganga. They're like soaking their rice in Ganga. They're just happy to participate. And because it's India, some people set up stalls. They're like selling stuff. But then Nityananda Prabhu, Dhyan, the meditation of Nityananda Prabhu. What is the power of the meditation of Nityananda Prabhu? He's thinking, and of whom is he thinking? Gauranga, Gaur Bhagawan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, by the power of Nityananda's so-called meditation, Mahaprabhu appears. Then again, you have Antaranga Bhakta, Bahiranga, different levels of devotees. Some can see, some are seeing peculiar behavior of Nityananda Prabhu. Because when Mahaprabhu comes and sees the scene of this picnic, he's also very happy. And so many pots are set aside for Nityananda. So Nityananda starts feeding Mahaprabhu. That's what he wanted to do. And what about Mahaprabhu? He starts feeding Nityananda Prabhu. And they're very happy. And then they start walking up and down the aisles. And Nityananda is taking from a devotee and giving that to Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu is taking from someone else, giving that to Nityananda. And so some exalted devotees, they see that it's Nitai and Gauranga. And others see Nityananda making these gestures, and they just see that. Some kind of like pantomime. But others can see that he's placing prasad into the mouth of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and they're both laughing and enjoying this very happily. And it's been mentioned in Charitamritam, which means that it's something very significant, that there are four like they might even use the word Avirbhav, where Mahaprabhu appears. One is, it said when Nityananda Nartan, when Nityananda dances, the dancing of Nityananda Prabhu is inconceivable. Kaviraj Goswami says it cannot be described. It is so beautiful and so sweet, and Mahaprabhu himself cannot resist the dancing of Nityananda Prabhu. And then he comes, and when they dance together, inconceivable ad infinitum. And so, Sachi Mandir, at the house of Sachi Mata, when she's offering food, she thinks she's losing her mind. Sometimes she's saying like she makes an offering and then it vanishes. And then she thinks, did I cook anything? Then she cooks again. Because he cannot resist what's in her heart, and what's in her heart is infused into that offering, and he personally comes there and takes that. And later tells him, do not, you think you're losing your mind, but I come there. Every time I come. Right? So Sachi Mandir, Nityananda Nartan, and Srivas Kirtan, the Kirtan at Srivas Sangam, and Raghava Bhavan, the house of Raghava Pandit. And Raghava Pandit lives nearby, and now we should understand, Raghava Pandit and Krishna Leela is the gopi Danishta. So as we sing every day in the song about Yashoda Bhavane, Danishta, how Danishta, Yashoda, remember, she enlists Radharani in cooking the lunch for Krishna and his friends. Because all these things, you can think, is something the cause or the effect? Let me say, she was given a benediction from Durvasa Muni that whatever she cooks will taste as sweet as nectar. And that's true. But actually, it's that whatever Radharani cooks is as sweet as nectar, and there needs to be some excuse why she can cook for Krishna and send what she cooks to Yashoda Bhavan. Right? So Durvasa Muni, it's circular. But nonetheless, Radharani is the best. So she sends so many things over, and then Yashoda accepts them, and then what she does is she makes a package to send to, like she's giving things to the Sakis, friends, etc., and can go back to Radharani. And Danishta is taking from Krishna's plate and putting them in the package also. And then when Radharani gets the package, she is overjoyed and then wants to share that with all of her friends and their assistants. So that Raghava Pandit, right? And what is his sister's name? Madhavi? Damayanti. Damayanti. They cook special things for Mahaprabhu. But so that Raghava Pandit showed up, and he's thinking to Nitin, he's saying, I made so many things, and they're offered, but now I can see why they're not being taken, because you're here. It's his way of saying, I want you, to take these things. And Nityananda is saying, that later we will do. Right now, we're going to have Chira and Doi, like we do in Vrindavan on the banks of the Jamuna. That's what our program is right now. But after this, and so much singing and dancing, and later in the afternoon, we will go to your house and eat all those wonderful things. Right? And how special is Raghava Bhavan? It said, Radharani cooks in his house. As if it wasn't special enough already. Radharani cooks in his house, mysteriously. So you think, that we will save for later. And they're having so much kirtan and beautiful singing and dancing, and at the conclusion, having fulfilled Nityananda's punishment, Nityananda very sweetly and humbly asked all of his devotees to bless Raghunath Das Goswami that he may achieve the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. He's saying, and with their blessings, it is guaranteed. And Raghunath Das, he wants to show some appreciation, so being so wealthy, he gives to the treasurer of Nityananda Prabhu so much gold coins and bars of gold and other things for their necessities. And then don't tell anything about this. Later, you can mention it, but not now. And now he's got the grace of Nityananda Prabhu and all of the devotees of Nityananda Prabhu, those whom are dear to Nityananda Prabhu. He returns home, and the evening comes where he gets his opportunity. At around 3 o'clock in the morning, the family priest, Purohit, his name is Yadunandana Acharya, he comes to see Raghunath Das and says, the Brahmin who's doing the puja, it happens. Saying, and I don't have a substitute. So can you please, if you go to him and plead with him to continue this seva, it would really be helpful. And Raghunath was like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Prabhu, you go home and don't worry about this. I'll take care of this matter. I'll send them to you. So you just go to your house, don't be troubled anymore, go home, and I'll talk to them and send them to you. And Yadunandana Acharya goes home and Raghunath Das says, all the guards are sleeping. And you think, this is it. And he starts going to Puri, which is around 600 kilometers away. And he's thinking, previously, I would go by the main road. That's the quickest route, but they always come and get me. So this time he thinks, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go through small towns and villages, and first I'm going to go in the opposite direction. Which he does. And the first day he goes 30 miles, or 50 kilometers. And some Gowala, a cowman, sees that he's emaciated, has nothing, gives him some milk, and we're told over 12 days, we're going around 50 kilometers a day, he's madly racing towards the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 8 every 4 days. A little something. And the father sends the search party, and then they can't find him. And they've heard, just as he does annually, Shivananda Sen takes all the Mahabhagavatas from Navadip and Goramandal for Rath Yatra, So they send, the father sends some representatives, meet with Shivananda Singh. He said, not here. Really. And Raghunath Das keeps going. Then he finally makes it to Puri, to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was so happy to see him. Raghunath Das just falls at his feet wanting dust, but Mahaprabhu picks him up and embraces him. He couldn't control himself. And he put him under the care of Swarup Damodar. And it's interesting, Nityananda Prabhu said that when he gave the blessings to Das Goswami. You will be under the care of Swarup Damodar, and you will do Antaranga Seva. And it's like the confidential associate Seva. And you'll be under the care of Swarup Damodar. And now Mahaprabhu is saying the same thing. And Mahaprabhu turns to Swarup and said, all right, now we have 3 Raghus, because there's a Raghunath Vaidya, Raghunath Bhatta. He said, so this Raghu, he will be known as Swarupa Raghu, Swarup's Raghu. And took him by the hand, put his hand in the hand of Swarup Damodar, and like that. And told Govinda, first few days, just feed him and restore his health, vitality, and so every day Govinda giving the prasad of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Raghunath Das, and he's very happy. And he will go for the Jagannath Darshan and stay by the gate, and there's so many pandas going in and out. And towards the end of the day, when they see some serious devotees, they'll tell a shopkeeper, like, give them something, put it on my tab, give them something. And that way the devotees, they can concentrate exclusively on Krishna Nam, Krishna Smaranam. But Raghunath Das is uncomfortable with this. And he starts going, there are places they call chati, where there's it's like prasadam distribution. They'll give you a little something, because he's saying this is not good when you're begging in this way, you're looking at people going, oh, maybe he'll give something. No, he gave something yesterday. Or he said he felt, Mahaprabhu said he felt it, and Mahaprabhu confirmed. He said it's like being a prostitute looking for clients. So he didn't feel internally right with that. And he thought, if you go to the place where it's just guaranteed, they give you a little something, you don't have to think about all these things. But Raghunath's family is very concerned about him. And when on the return of Shivananda Sain, he confirmed that Raghunath Das had achieved the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. He's saying everyone knows him, and everyone knows about it, and all the devotees love him. He loves all the devotees, So forget it. It's over, it's done. And they thought, well, but we can't tolerate maybe hearing some stories. Then they send some men to give him the money to at least maintenance. He won't accept, so those men have to stay. But what he finds acceptable at first is, I will invite Mahaprabhu twice a month. So Mahaprabhu will come with his associates, and then that way this money can be used to purchase many, Jagannath Prasad, other things, and then with Mahaprabhu, that will be good. And that goes on for like 2 years. And then he's thinking, that also doesn't feel right. And just as a sidebar, we notice, we should observe in our own attempts to make progress, that something that was okay before may not be okay now. Right? An aspiring servitor has to undergo a fair amount of self-analysis. Right? So what was acceptable in year 1 may not be acceptable in year 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. Right? It's just, that's the way of growth and progressive devotion. So just see, what at one point was an adjustment for him now is unacceptable in his current state of realization. And it's not just to fault the other, you're just saying, now that's inappropriate. So he's ramping up internal culture, and the outcome is vairagya. Right? We should not think that vairagya yields devotion. By vairagya meaning, renunciation, penance, austerities, that you'll do, and then you'll get devotion. No such thing. These devotees, on account of their inner evolution, and what Guru Maharaj calls the gradual unfoldment of heart, they're less and less dependent upon external things. So it's a consequence of what's going on internally. Otherwise, it would be to mistakenly assert that some external thing you can do will produce something internal. Right? And that can never be in pursuit of like substantial Krishna consciousness. Right? Raso varjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Right? The superior internal joy consequence, less involved, less necessity for the external. So Mahaprabhu will from time to time say to Swarup Damodar, like, haven't heard much about Raghunath recently. How come he doesn't invite us to the feast anymore? Swarup Damodar, I'll check. I was wondering too. He goes there and see Raghunath Das, what he's doing there. We're told there's rice that has reached the stage of being unfit for human consumption. So they give it to cows or animals. And you understand, it's mainly, but there's some parts are good, some not. And we're told Raghunath Das, he would take that, wash it very carefully, and then maybe there's like one little part, like that's good, take that part, assemble some of that, and like that's how he was maintaining himself. So Swarup Damodar comes and says, what do you eat? Oh, I'd like some of that. So he's, wonderful. I have to tell Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu comes and says, like, you're feasting without us? Give me. And then Mahaprabhu's taking, such nectarine substance, I've never, and he goes to take more, and Swarup Damodar saying, this is not fit for you. But such love and affection, and remember also, this whole Chaitanya Charitamritam comes to us from Raghunath Das Goswami. We think, oh, he is a renunciate under a different tree, and just no one can know, or what we have comes from him, because it is the notes of Swarup Damodar, whom he's his assistant. That's when Mahaprabhu famously said, what I don't know, he knows. And that's why I want you to be in. Meaning, he's in terra incognito, the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani. This is a new world to him. Lalita Sakhi, Swarup Damodar, knows all about it, everything about it. Saying the songs of Swarup Damodar would keep Mahaprabhu alive, and the poetry of Ramananda. And it's interesting, just as when Krishna is feeling, Janardhan Maharaj drew my attention to this many years ago. He said that it's there in the Antya 6, that when Krishna is feeling deep separation from Radharani, Subal gives him counsel, and same thing, singing, quoting things, assist Krishna in that way. And saying in that way, Ramananda. And as Lalita consoles Radharani, Swarup. And so when Mahaprabhu, it's meaningful when he says, what I don't know, he knows fully. So that's why I'm putting you under his care. It's not you're being pushed away, you're being put in a position where you'll gather the skills necessary for the service that I need from you. So that Raghunath Das Goswami, to him, Mahaprabhu had been given a Govardhan Shila and Gunjamala. And the Gunjamala is like a little blackberry with a red tip. You see them on the way to Badrinath, little bushes. So he got a garland of Gunjamala and Govardhan Shila. And he would say, he's saying, the Govardhan Shila is the body of Krishna. It's Krishna's body, and he's fully there. Right? Whether the Shila is this small, that big, or big, it's directly the body of Krishna. There's no installation for Govardhan Shila. Right? It is Krishna. And Guru Maharaj said in one place, like Mahaprabhu, Anta Krishna Behir Gauram Darshitan Dadi. Internally Krishna, externally devotee. So Braja Gopis, no less than the Braja Gopis, are praising Govardhan. Hantaya Madhulabala Haridasa Bharja Yad Rama Krishna Charanas Parasha Pramoda Manam Tanoti Sahagoganayas Tayoryat Pani Yasuya Vasakanda Rakanda Mulai. Praising Govardhan is Haridas Varja, the best of the Haridasas, the best of the servitors of Krishna. Why? Rama Krishna Charanas Parasha Pramoda. The lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram, and Govardhan shivering and happy at the touch of the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram and the cowherd boys, and giving, like Hapaniya, Pani Yasuya Vasakanda Rakanda Mulai, sweet waters for the cows to drink, and nice grass for them to graze, and Kanda Rakanda Mulai, caves for confidential pastimes of Radharani, Brajagopis, Krishna. So Mahaprabhu was so he would have the Gunjamala which means Radharani, and the Govardhan. And we're told sometimes he's like holding here, sometimes he's putting on his heart, sometimes on his head, on his eyes. And when you go to that Gokulananda temple where there's the Samadhis of Vishwanath, Narottam, Lokanath Goswami, and those beautiful deities, and they have that Shila, Govardhan Shila. And like this, and but you'll see what is this, Nityananda? Concave or convex? Anyway, you get the idea. The one that goes like that. And because he would go like this. So if you see the way it goes like this, he would press a deity to his heart, and so just think Mahaprabhu is personal. He worships Govardhan. Right? That's the deity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the deity upon which Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat was established. And it's the deity Srila Guru Maharaj approved for us to worship. But that particular Govardhan Shila with Mahaprabhu for some years, and then he gives that Govardhan Shila and the Gunjamala to Raghunath Das Goswami. And tells him, you offer some water and tulsi leaves. And we're told the worship of Raghunath Das Goswami so pure that what's generally referred to as like worship with the 16 types of paraphernalia, which is done in some temples, perhaps like South Indian temples or Radharaman or places like that, or at least on special occasions, these 16 different types of paraphernalia means like the highest standard, the fullest type. And we're saying that doesn't in any way compare to the heart of Das Goswami with his water and tulsi leaves. Then after some time, I think Swarup Damodar tells him, you can offer khaja, that little like sweet puri like they have in Jagannath Puri, and sandesh. And then we have to, it reminds me a little bit of Madan Mohan telling Sanatana Goswami that he'd like a little salt on the chapati balls. And he always said, Sanatana figures out like, oh, you want to feed me. So when Sridhar was saying, and I think you offer these sweets to the deity, right? And Raghunath, yes. Like as if they're like trying to feed Raghunath Das Goswami. And he wrote those famous prayers. One begins with Nirupadi Korunena Sri Sachinandanena, and ends with the line, Nija Nikata Nivasam Dehi Govardhanatvam. It's not, he's saying, oh, Govardhan, please give me shelter nearby. Not even directly, he's saying, in your general, nearby. And in his final days, when after the departure of Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar, we said in the prayer, Ashavare Amrita Sindhu Mayi Katanchit Kalo Mayati Gamita Kila Sampratam Hi Tvam Chet Kripam Mayi Vidashashinaiva Kimme Prane Brajena Chabororu Bakarinapi. So my life's aspiration is the service of the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. And if that's no longer a possibility, if that prospect is withdrawn, then my life is meaningless, right? Raison d'être, the reason for being. He's saying, and what is more valuable than my life? Vrindavan is of no value to me without you. Radha Padman Kitadam Vrindavan Jaranam. Vrindavan proper is that divine Chinmoy soil that is enriched, embellished by the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and the service of the same. So that's of no value to me without you. Prane, my life, Brajena, Braja, Bakarinapi, and Krishna, without you, the demon killer, Bakari, like who killed Bakasura, and Baki, Putana, and Aghasura. So Guru Maharaj said, in this way, this is a direct prayer to Srimati Radharani. He is indicating, he said, even more clearly than Rupa, why he's the best student in the Rupa Nuga line. He's spelling it out more clearly that ultimately our attention, our focus, our aspiration is the service of the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. She knows how to serve Krishna. And she is the supreme servitor of Krishna. To not include her in one's aspiration is a hallucination, fictitious devotion, offensive even. Aparadha. Das Goswami elsewhere says, Dashayate Mama Rasastu Satyam Sakayate Mama Namostu Namostu Nityam. My focus is service, dasyam. Sakyam, in this context meaning more intimate service. If there's no superior servitor there to guide me, to shelter me, why would I be there or want to be there? I focus on the least aspect. Right? Hari Padanaka Koti Prishta Parjanta Simha. Like Rupa Goswami's praise of Srimati Radharani. That she can, we always talk about the lotus feet. But because that's the least aspect. And then, the Padaduli, the dust of the lotus feet. What do we say, dust, as a particle? It's like, we would say, it's nothing. That's why they're saying, meaning the least, whatever would be the least possible connection there, that I aspire to. This is what the higher devotee, what Mahaprabhu himself says, Ayi Nanda, Tanunya Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Budho, Kripaya Tavapada Pankaja, Duli Sadrisham Vichintaya, they're the same thing. Right? That's what he, Asamaho Charaneno Jishama Hangshang, Brindavane Kimapi Guma Latosadinam, same thing from Uddhava. They're always praying for the least. And then we have if you want to be generous, neophyte devotees, newly recruited, they're envisioning themselves as super servitors in that world. But the substantial devotees, a particle of dust, the least. Guru Maharaj sometimes saying, build a cottage in that plain. By that he means like the least. It's always, this is the least, whatever's the least connection with that. Right? The substantial devotees pray in that way. And it's only the neophytes, the newly recruited, or the imitationists and posers. They're envisioning themselves as super servitors engaged in intimate. It's all a nightmarish fantasy. No man of substance will find anything there other than what is appalling or repulsive. Right. So that Das Goswami, and what appears to be the vanishing prospect of Radha Dasyam. Thanks. I'll leave Puri. I'll go for one last darshan of Govardhan and Radha Kunda, and then throw myself from Govardhan and finish his life. But when he arrives there, he sees in Rup and Sanatan Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar. And just see how critical all of this is. So now Das Goswami is about to just withdraw, and the wealth of what he has, that then mean Rup and Sanatan, and then who? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who's serving Das Goswami, caring for him, and the full wealth that he got. Back to Nityananda's hand, you will go and be under Swarup Damodar. Mahaprabhu, I am placing you under the care of Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar, these are my notes on what I've observed of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has got sutra-like notes, Das Goswami more extensive notes. Then all of that wealth is transferred to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, so that today we have the inconceivable good fortune of being able to read Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam. Right? And now you want to know why Srila Prabhupada laid so much stress on, first of all, translation, publishing, distribution, knowing that this sort of substance is there in the pages of, as Guru Maharaj said, the greatest book to ever have seen the light of day, and all time, all space, all creations. Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam. So at the conclusion of every chapter, what does it say? Sri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Jara Ash Chaitanya Charitamritam Kohe Krishna Das. Rupa Raghunatha Pade. The lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath. This Sri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Jara Ash Chaitanya Charitamritam sings Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Right. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, the Chiradoi Festival, and Panihati Ki Jai, Sai Go Pramanande. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Garadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Echai Gochai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jaha hoite Vignanash Abhishta Puran. Echai Goshai Jar Mui Taro Das. Kansabara Padarenu Mora Pansagras. Kandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. Janame Mor Ei Abhilas. Echai Gochai Jabe Braje Koilobas. Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korilo Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Sri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman. Sri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan. Harinam Sankirtan Kohe Narottamada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Acharya Satara Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Diyu Ki Jai. Sri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prayojan Tattvacharya Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. The Chiradoi Bhani Hati Festival Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Go Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Govinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Vishvavarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Bimalavadut Maharaj Ki Jai. Seva Vrinda Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
Sudhir Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Navo Dandavats Maharaj. Suhadevi Didi, United States. Madhumita Didi, Venezuela. Krishnalata Didi, United States. Kuladri Prabhu, Russia. Katerina Salenko, Russia. Guy Yadish Alta, that's the name. Gangamai Didi, Kiev. Tapanandini Didi. Nityananda Rama Prabhu, Colombia. Dandavats pranams, all glories to Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj. And Gaura Shakti Prabhu, Australia, is messaging us. I can't express my gratitude to Srila Maharaj just in words for these nectarian teachings, perfectly representing Srila Sridhar Maharaj. I have been very closely following and a big admirer of Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj from last few years. Top class preaching and the broadcast quality. Small is beautiful.
Hare Krishna. Aprakrita Lila. Vancha Kapatrivya Kripal Sindhu Beva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.